super happy to see you, all of you again. This is the day two of the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season live showroom. And in these live events, during these 5 days, I will try to explain and to show you as much as possible what this project is about. If you miss the previous live that we did yesterday, where I explained a bit more this concept of Docuedit, check the live we did yesterday. I will place a card at the top. Guys, today I will show you basically this. This is the project. This is the whole Docuedit in the video editor. This is what you are seeing now, guys. This super mega puzzle composed by thousands of little pieces of audio and video. This is 10 months of hard work, guys, in the computer. This is literally 10 months of my life in one image. This, let's say all this section that is around 1 hour and 40 minutes long. This is what I was doing basically all these 10 months here. And that's one of the reasons why in my main YouTube channel that I showed you yesterday, Flows by Dani Lozano, I'm not publishing so much videos during the year, because normally these kind of very long projects take to me so much time that it's impossible to have a regular calendar, you know. If you see my channel in the last year, basically I uploaded 1, 2, 3. Sorry, you are not watching. In my channel, in the last year I upload 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos during the previous year in 2024. And this is a re-upload video. Basically, this was a special video I made celebrating the 10th anniversary of this YouTube channel. And these 4 videos are trailers and teasers of this project, the Docuedit. So basically, soon you will be able to watch the Docuedit, one of the biggest projects I've made ever for the YouTube channel. That, as I explained yesterday, the full video, the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season, won't be published here on this YouTube channel. In the 5th day of these live events, next Friday, I will announce where it's possible to watch the Docuedit and when. So stay tuned, not only today, the rest of the week, to understand and to know, guys, the moment will be uploaded the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. Today, as I said, I will showing you interesting details about this project from the inside, showing you this. The program that I used to edit the video. I will show you some effects, some moments of the Docuedit, some edits as well, some parts of some edits. And basically, this project, the Docuedit, as I explained before, or as I explained yesterday, it's a compilation of different driver edits I was making during the year, putting all together and at the same time connected. Yesterday we were talking about, for example, the first edit about Carlos Sainz that I made when he did the extraordinary incredible race in Bahrain at the start of the season. Then the appendicitis issue he suffered and that impeding to him to race in Saudi Arabia, and then the incredible comeback in the Australian Grand Prix when he was able to win the race and to celebrate that win 15 days after he was in the hospital, you know. Incredible story. This is the first edit, and as you can see here, there are different texts. This is the team radio message. These letters you are watching on green. This is the team radio messages. But the first thing I would like to explain is the color I used to edit this video, guys, the full video, the color correction or the color editing I was using. And let's use my blog to explain very interesting details about that. Because, for example, if we go to my blog.danifloss.com, here you can find more information in the section Docuedit. If we go to the Developer Diary episode 1, that is this one, is this one, in this video series, I explain what I'm explaining now, but a bit more condensed and more, you know, in a more fast way to say in some way. Our videos really well edited. If we go to the episode number 1, guys, let me show you something very interesting. In this screenshot, you can see the difference between colors. This is the original footage at the left side here. The original footage I was using to create the video, and at the right side you can see that there is a division and the color is different. It's the same image or the same piece of footage after uploading or put together all filters and color correction I made for the project. Let me drink, guys, a moment. Basically, as you can see, at the left side in the original footage here, in this part, you can see how the general image is a bit red. If you pay attention to the asphalt, to the track, you can see how it's a bit with red tones, you know. And in the right side, that is the footage of the Docuedit. Once I put together all filters and color correction and color balance, you can see the color of the track is much more natural. It's gray, as it should be, you know. And also the boards at the background, where you can see Bahrain Grand Prix, are less red, you know. It's more natural. The color is a bit more green, because as I explained in the Docuedit, in the developer diary episode 1, let's put it. Let's put it because it's very interesting. Let me show you guys. This part, I think, is where I explain the color correction. Look. Between two words, documentary. No, this is not. Here, I think. And some kind of general color balance. I detect that Formula 1, when they upload their footage to social media, like for example to YouTube, the race footage, the race highlights, the driver interviews, it's a bit grading to red color domination in the images. What I made in this Docuedit was to eliminate a bit of red in the images, adding an opposite color. The opposite color of red is green. In that way, I'm trying to balance the general color of the images, of the footage, and to create a much more natural color in the images, as you will be able to see now in this episode. Reducing red from the images and adding a bit of green. As I said before, Formula 1 footage, this is the explanation basically. And this is something I realized making this project, guys, because if we go to the program, when I was editing the images, as I said, I detect the natural, you can see, let's put deactivate the filters at the left side of the screen, as you can see here. At the left side is the original footage without any kind of edited process and anything. In all images, you can see how red color is a bit more, is dominating the image. You can see here is super visible. The left side, you can see that it's a bit of red, and once I put all filters together, the track, for example, is much more gray, as it should be. And this is something I did in the whole project, guys. And also you can see how, for example, the colors of the Ferrari car is much more saturated. I added a lot of saturation in the color, but only in strong colors, like for example red, and not, for example, in the whole image, you know. For example, in the track and in the boards at the background, the saturation is not so high. It's only saturated in determinate colors. That effect makes that the cars looks much more beautiful and they shine much more. For example, let's see the McLaren. Let's see if we can find image footage in the Lando Norris edit. That is very interesting to see the McLaren car. For example, here also super visible the color correction, how in the left side without filters the image is much more red, and the orange of the McLaren, let's see, is not so strong as you can see here. But once I put the filters here at the right side, the orange papaya of the McLaren is much more stronger. And if we go to the original footage, you can see how the orange is not so intense. And this is something I realized making this project, guys. And this is an effect that personally, it was my way to edit the images, no? It just was my way. But I think, in general, I'm super happy with the colors and how I was able to edit the images. For me, makes very beautiful the images of the cars on track. Much more natural color, as I said before, much more intense at the same time, but not so intense at the background. You can see how the boards at the background that says crypto.com, yeah, they are a bit more saturated, but it's not so intense, you know. It's really a really natural process. Even the red light, what is flashing, you can see, is more or less at the same intensity, the lights. I didn't want to increase so much the saturation in a point that should be too much, you know, strong, the colors, you know. It's in that way, I think it's much more, I was able to increase the saturation, but maintaining the essence of the footage and the natural colors. So I really love it, guys. This is one of the things I really wanted to show you. Maybe for some of you is silly or it's not interesting enough. You just really want to see the final video and that's it. You are not interested in the colors and in the effects I put in the video, but I know some people really enjoy it, you know, to know these explanations of the colors. Another important point is, for example, I explained it in the episode, I think it was in the episode 3 of the Developer Diary Docuedit, the graphics that I use. You can see here, normally every time I saw an onboard camera of one of the drivers, here at the right side you can see the name of the driver and the thing what is racing for, you know. And as you can see, the text is really simple. It's not containing a solid graphic, as for example I did in previous documentaries like the Silver War or Silver versus Red. It's really simple text that is floating on the screen. And this is the TIN radio message. Every time you see or you listen at TIN radio, you will see at the top the name of the driver who is in the TIN radio, and just behind the text. For example, let's put the sound.
This is the last one.
Well, this is probably one of the worst examples because the audio of the radio is very low. For example, here.
We did it, Will! We did it! I finally delivered for you. Thank you so much. Finally.
And as you can see, it's coordinated, synchronizing the text with the driver's voice. And another interesting detail that I added in the TIN radio messages that I did not explain in the Developer Diary. Let me show you a more interesting example. For example, this conversation between Charles Leclerc and the engineer in Monaco in the Charles Leclerc edit. This is something that I really like to make. When a TIN radio conversation have different messages from the race engineer and the driver at the same time, I create like a chat at the left side with the TIN radio messages, you know, like a chat, a conversation in the way is exposed on the screen. For example, here it starts to talk Charles Leclerc in the radio, and then it will be replied by the race engineer, but the text will be being added to the previous message. In that way, you will be able to read the full conversation once it's being produced. Let's see the example.
Just for your info, I think you have a wrong. I mean, do you want to know the margin?
No, we are not interested.
That's rude.
Sorry.
See, you can see you are reading all the text, you know, and it's not substituting one message to the next one. It's just a conversation that is being built through the process, like for example, WhatsApp chat or Telegram chat, you know.
I mean, do you want to know the margin?
No, we are not interested.
That's rude.
Sorry.
I think it's really interesting the way I did it, because I think in that way you can, you know, to take your time to read the full chat, the full conversation, and don't miss any messages. Because in previous documentaries, normally I only saw the TIN radio message that was being sound in that moment, you know, substituting for the next one immediately the other person, the race engineer or the driver starts to say a new phrase. In that way, you can see the full chat, and I think it's much more interesting, you know, in that way. And let me show you why I decided to show the team radio message and the drivers' names and in this text floating in the screen without graphics. I was inspired in another motorsport competition, and let me show you in the developer diary, guys. I think it's in the episode number 3. I think is where I explain why I decided to create this kind of graphics. In the developer diary episode number 3, here, let me find the exactly moment of the explanation. Here. It's very basic. It's like a transition, very smooth.
Ready and prepared for this race 1.
And the graphic disappeared. Why I decided to make it in that way? Not using text box or very solid graphics with solid backgrounds as I did in the past. So I think it's much more clean. But this idea, I was inspired in another motorsport series that is making something similar. That is the World Endurance Championship. You can see here how are the graphics. The graphics are not solid, are like floating on the screen, you know, are not background around. They are signing. You can see the numbers of the position of the cars in blue. I copy from them because I think it's very interesting. You can see the numbers and the information, but the graphics are not annoying, you know, in the screen. It's much more clean, everything. Now I'm gonna show you next graphic. It shows when a driver. See, I was inspired in the World Endurance Championship, guys. This is a screenshot of how the World Endurance Championship, very interesting championship, by the way, shows the graphics in race. There are not solid graphics in the background, like for example in Formula 1 there is a black block where is placed the text. Here basically the text with the race distance between cars and the racing numbers and the logos of the cars and the positions are all put in the screen, but they are floating in the screen. There are no graphics. And when I saw that watching the World Endurance Championship, I thought to do it for my Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season, this concept to put the text floating on the screen. I think it's in that way because this project, the problem is that it's not a documentary, and the edits, some of the edits are really intense and the action happen very, very fast. If I use solid graphics in a project like this one, it could be very distracting for the viewer, especially in edits that are really, really intense and there is not too much time to read text. If I put a solid block with the text graphic, I think it's really, really annoying and very distracting for the viewer. I prefer the text shows much more natural on the screen. And in that way, it's like part of the edit, part of the story, the text, you know. It's not a separation or a division between a solid block of text that is even reducing the amount of image or footage you can see on the screen, you know. In that way, as I said, it's much more natural, and I think it's much more cool in that way, you know, guys. So I think it's very cool to do it in that way. By the way, I will explain it that once again. The developer diary series is where the section where I explain all these kind of things. I mean, we are reading. I'm using the developer diary series. That is a video series that I'm making. Well, it's finished. This video series finished in the channel I'm doing this live. Dani Lozano Floss. By the way, don't forget to subscribe. Here, this is my YouTube channel. Is where I'm making the developer diary series, and as you can see, let's take a look, guys. Now I've made 10 episodes. This is the number 1. The number 2 is here. Let's put it in full screen. Episode number 3. In every developer diary, I talk about one specific edit that I've made for the Docuedit. The episode 3 is dedicated to Charles Leclerc. The episode number 4 is dedicated to Lewis Hamilton. The episode number 5 is dedicated to Piastri. 6 episode dedicated to Sargent and Albon. Number 7 to Daniel Ricciardo. Fernando Alonso is in the episode number 8. Colapinto, Lawson, and Perez 9, and in the last one, that is the number 10, is dedicated to Max Verstappen. That not means these are not all edits I made for this project. There are more edits, but in the developer diary series, I've shown the making process of the edit, explaining 10 of the edits I've made for the project, but there are more edits. Later on, I will explain to you, in case you would like to know more information about these secret edits, how you can get it, and how you can even can get more information. But another interesting thing is for the project my Docuedit, guys. And not only I obviously I did the classic teen radio messages, the classic montage process, in my edits. In different edits, for example, the Charles Leclerc edit, I made something really interesting. Normally, for the edits of this project, I've used phrases of the drivers that they said in the post-race and post-qualifying driver interviews. After every race, they said some words about how they saw his own race, about his feeling of the race. Every driver do like a little recap, in the post-qualifying and post-race interviews. For example, in the case of the Charles Leclerc edit winning the Monaco Grand Prix, I really need something more emotional from Charles, some more emotional words from Charles Leclerc, talking about Monaco, about things that are very personal for him in life, like the loss of his father and what's supposed to him as a racing driver. And in the Monaco edit of Charles Leclerc, I use some words Charles Leclerc said in one of the interviews he did last year in a podcast, in a really popular podcast. For example, let me show you a little extract of some of the phrases he said that I take from that interview to put in my edit. Let's pick one of them. For example, this one.
The way you react to mistakes you've done inside the car. This is where you manage to transform a mistake into something positive.
This phrase was said by Charles Leclerc in a podcast, and that I was listening, and I did it on live. I did it on live, and you have the video here. This is the video, guys. Let me put it here.
A Ferrari Formula 1 driver, that's all I dreamed for. In all of the difficult moments, I always remember myself how lucky I am to be in that position and living off what I love most, which is driving. I love what I do, but I want to be the best.
There's one man in the Formula 1 that has gotten a lot of attention, the championship contender, Charles Leclerc.
If your father was here now, what do you think he'd say to you?
As soon as he passed away, I asked myself, what would he want me to do?
Why are you doing this? Why are you reacting? As you can see here, in this video, I was reacting on live, listening the full Charles Leclerc interview. Meanwhile, I was picking the best phrases Charles Leclerc said in that interview to place it in my edit, in this edit about Charles Leclerc, guys. In this, in this edit about Charles Leclerc, guys. What I want to say with that is that every single edit have a very intense and very specific word behind, For example, in this Charles Leclerc edit, I picked these phrases from the podcast to put it in my edit, And this is something that is not in every single edit, guys. For example, another driver where I did the same about to listen a full interview to try to pick the best words he said and to try to put it in my edit was Oscar Piastri. Let me find the edit, guys. Let me find the edit. It should be more or less, I think, on this point. Here at this point, okay. This is an Oscar Piastri edit, and also I pick phrases that Oscar Piastri said at some point, to put it in my edit. For example, here, listen. Sorry. Wrong button. My mistake. It should be in the minute, in 1 hour, something. Here. At this point. Here we are. Listen.
Prevention is the best way to attack it rather than waiting for it to happen and trying to fight it. So that was kind of the mentality I had. When you're in the car, there's another person you're trying to beat, really. When you're on track, they're all the same. Can't treat them any different. Your teammate is always your best reference. I want to beat everybody, which includes Lando's.
As you can listen, these phrases were not extracted in a post-race or post-qualifying interview from Oscar. I extract these phrases from a podcast, this one.
Oscar, great to have you on the show again. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Dress book.
Oh, sorry, again. Here. Silver versus Red, Sebastian Vettel.
Oscar, great to have you on the show again. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
As you can see, it's an interview, about 3 minutes interview. In this interview, I was reacting to the interview, listened the words Oscar Piastri was saying at this point, and reacting to the interview, to what Oscar Piastri was saying. It's very weird to see me reacting to me at the same time in the same setup. It's fun, but it's really weird. I was reacting to the interview of Oscar because I was trying to really find very interesting phrases for the edit where, as you can listen before, Oscar Piastri was talking about his mentality, how he was approaching the races in Formula One, the mentality he has to go through the race weekends, his ambition, his goals in Formula One. These kind of phrases were really useful for my edit about Oscar Piastri, guys. And it really helped me to build a much more solid edit and much more emotional edit, in this case about Oscar Piastri, you know. For example, more details about this project. As you can see here, these are the audio tracks. And normally I use 4 for this project. And normally the audio track number 2 and 3, that are the blue and green, then you can see here, the blue and green audio tracks. Normally I put car sounds. Most of the car sounds you will be able to listen in the Docuedit are fake. I extracted from different videos where you can listen Formula 1 cars on track without commentary, without external voices, just pure sound, natural sound. Why I did that? Because in the original footage I used to edit the video, the Docuedit, and normally I had the clips with the commentary, you know, and the audio of the cars was a bit, let's say, hidden, you know, as background noise. And I decided to add this. For example, let's listen let's mute the red audio track where is the audio track where you can listen the commentary. Let's mute it, and let's mute the music, that is the purple audio track. Let's only activate the blue and green audio tracks, that are the audio tracks where is placed the car sounds. Listen. As you can listen, it's car sounds, and this process from a different audio tracks with natural sounds of the cars. I had to do this process in the whole project. Every time I was finishing an edit, I had to find all footage where we have cars on track, and to add an audio car sound that match with the scene of the cars. You know, for example, if they are going in a very high speed passing in front of a camera, I have to find a sound of an F1 car passing really fast on the straight. For example, in Monaco, listen. You know, or in the braking, you can see I matched the footage with an engines with a car sound, Formula 1 car sounds braking. You know, as here, and here accelerating. this process I made it during the whole project, guys. As you can see in the green and blue audio tracks, the whole project, literally, I was finding parts of this audio track where you can listen the car sounds to match it with every single piece of footage, every single sequence I use for my Docuedit. It was immense work. I don't know how much time I spent fitting every single piece of audio that could match with every single scene and footage of the cars. You know, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But thanks to that process, now the Docuedit, it's much more professional. It's much more immersed as well. You can listen constantly. The car sounds, the sounds much higher than normal. And that's for me something that is very important, because at the end of the day, we are talking about Formula One, and even with these V6 turbo engines that are not very loud, very noisy, obviously you can listen much higher the engine sounds. That puts you, in the context, that immerse to the viewer in the edits, in the videos, and makes you to feel that you are watching a very, very special video or edit that is about Formula One, and at the end of the day is what everyone wants, to watch something about Formula One, which is one of my videos. And as I said, it took a lot of time, but I'm really proud of it, guys. The amount of details you will be able to see in different edits it's insane. For example, there are other edits. For example, the Daniel Ricciardo edit that I made special effects with the text. For example, here, this is a preview. I think I never showed you this one or this piece of footage before. For example, I'm playing with the lyrics of the song I used for the Daniel Ricciardo edit here, where the lyrics of the song said "Paradise," and I write it. And you can see how the text is zoomed. In the inside is the Daniel Ricciardo smile, and here turns into the next. In the inside of the A, you can. It's a transition to the next footage or the next scene. That is Daniel Ricciardo racing in the Austrian Grand Prix, passing. I think it's a Williams. So it's. That's what I'm talking about, guys. In every single edit, you will see different effects that I not made in previous edits, So, I mean, every single edit have something special that I did not shown in the others. Oh, sorry. So, extremely special, guys. Extremely special. A lot of times I was using this to make these flashbacks. This is something I added at the very end of the project. When I finished the project, every time I had to create some kind of, let's say, reminder or like, let's say, highlights from the previous years of every particular driver I was making the edit. Like, for example, Ricciardo, where I made a compilation of his best wins in Red Bull Racing. I start to design this kind of background at the around the images with the footage in the middle, like a old style film, with this kind of yellow background, very clean, like with the footage of in this case the previous victories of Daniel Ricciardo in Formula One, as a tribute. This edit to Daniel, because he was his last season in Formula One. I don't know if he will come back or not to Formula One, but as you know, in 2024 he did his last races as a Formula One driver in RV. So this is a kind of effect you will see not only in this edit, in most of the edits you will be able to watch in the Docuedit. Normally there is a point where you can see flashbacks from the story in Formula One of some of the drivers involved in the Docuedit. This is another very, very cool effect. So another secret of the making process of the Docuedit. And as I said, if you would like to know even more details, you are really curious about this process, that's why I was creating this video series, the Developer Diary series of the Developer Diary, where you can see a lot of insights about every single project. For example, in the Lewis Hamilton edit, I dedicate a special episode. Sorry, you are not watching that. I dedicated a special episode about Lewis Hamilton, where I was explaining different making process of part of the process I followed to make this edit about Lewis Hamilton and his fantastic win at Silverstone last season after 2.5 years without victories. Also, you can watch the video version on YouTube, but also it's transcript in my blog to text, where you can see and read more, let's say, taking your time, more slower, bit by bit, how I was making in this case, the building process of the Lewis Hamilton edit for the Docuedit. Here, for example, I explaining the song I use for the Lewis Hamilton edit, winning and Silverstone, the lyrics I use, and why I decided to put the lyrics on the screen of the edit that you will see. For example, I'm talking about this. In the Lewis Hamilton edit, the song I use to make the Lewis Hamilton edit, that it should be here, more or less. Yes. You can see during the edit, the lyrics of the song is written on the screen.
Definitely frustrating, but these things happen.
See, you can see how the lyrics of the song are written on the screen. In my blog, I explain why I decided to do that, the different phrases Lewis Hamilton was saying during the season, and why I use these phrases in the edit, the reason why, what I try to explain in the edit, not only to show Lewis Hamilton winning at Silverstone, the background behind, the story behind before that Silverstone victory he achieved in 2024, and all the pain Lewis Hamilton was suffering until come to that point. Here I explain once again the lyrics of the song, what it means for me, the Lewis Hamilton edit. It's really, really interesting, guys. Here I explain a lot of insights, and I explain not only the edits I was making in the process, also why I did it in that way, why I was using the song I use, why I picked the phrases I pick for Lewis to show in the Lewis Hamilton edit, guys, you know. So it's really, really interesting, guys. In every single episode of the Developer Diary, I always explain and reveal very interesting details. And this is the Oscar Piastri edit I was showing you before, with the phrases of Oscar. For example, this is really interesting. The episode 6 is super interesting. Here I explain, in this episode I explain the crazy story, our crazy, let's say a very particular inspiration I received to make the Logan Sargent edit in Williams for the Docuedit 2024, that is involving this song that is from a very old movie, Teen America World Police, and why I decided to choose this song as a background music of the Logan Sargent edit. And for example, here I show you when and why I decided to choose this song, and why or from who I was inspiring to use that song in the edit. Thanks to this account on X, I was inspired, and this account gave me the idea to make the Logan Sargent edit as I did it, using the song I used, that is this one. I will show you just a little bit. Let's see if I found the edit. That should be more or less this point. I think here, yes. This is the edit, and this is the song.
He's on fire, he needs to jump out.
Jump out, guys, on fire at the rear of the car.
As you can see, he's talking about America. Logan Sargent is American driver. That's one of the reasons I use the song you were listening. And here in the blog, you can read the full story. That is really interesting, guys. I recommend you to watch the story of this song and why I use it. Super well explained here in the blog. Also, you can watch the video version. In the video version, I explain the same. But if you really want to read all details with calm, you know, and slowly, very slowly, always you have the transcription, guys. So, as I said, the developer diary, I think it was an idea that it was starting to make at the same time I was making the Docuedit, and I think it's really good idea because now it has not too many sense because you have not watched the full video, and once you watch the Docuedit, maybe you get even more interest into watch the developer diary series of the developer diary. For example, in the episode 8, where I explain things about the Fernando Alonso edit, that is very spectacular, this edit, guys. One of my favorites, the Fernando Alonso edit. Here, for example, I explain a bit more the story of the Fernando Alonso edit and why I decided to make the Fernando Alonso edit in 2024. Because, for example, in 2024, Fernando Alonso had not a great season at all. He had not a great season. It was really difficult to find highlights from Fernando Alonso in 2024. The previous year was easy because he did score 8 podiums. He had a very competitive car, but in 2024 he had not a competitive car. So in the blog, I was explaining the reasons why, how and why I decided to make a Fernando Alonso edit in 2024, even thinking that it will be really difficult, taking in account that I had not many highlights from Fernando in 2024 in an Aston Martin that was not competitive at all. But as I said, in the blog you have the transcription, the full story, phrases that said Fernando that help me to build the edit. And this is more about the story behind the edit, you know. A samurai and a racing driver are barely linked. This phrase is super important in the Fernando Alonso edit. You can see this footage, for example. This is the final part of the Fernando Alonso edit, where you will be able to see a spectacular montage that includes samurais and geishas and warriors of the Japanese culture. That Fernando Alonso is super fan of the Japanese culture, the samurai culture, you know. I explain also in this developer diary why I decided to use and how I use the samurai culture, the Japanese samurai cultures Fernando loves so much, to integrate this kind of philosophy in the Fernando Alonso edit. So it's mega interesting, guys. All what I'm showing you is the developer diary, guys. Even in the episode 9, this one is really interesting, this edit that involves Franco Colapinto, Liam Lawson and Sergio Perez, that they were fighting for a seat in 2025 now in this season. Now Lawson is in Red Bull. Let's see if he stays at the end of the season in Red Bull. I read rumors that from Red Bull they are deciding to relegate Lawson to RB and to up Tsunoda to Red Bull. Let's see if that happened. In the episode number 9 of the developer diary, I explained one of the most intense edits I made for this project. Let's say the fight for a seat in 2025 between Franco Colapinto, Liam Lawson and Sergio Perez. For example, in this edit, I explained the context, all context behind the edit and why I decided to make it. Different things you will be able to watch in the edit. This is a very short edit, but really intense. I explain why Sergio Perez is involved in this edit that involves Franco Colapinto and Liam Lawson at the same time, explaining and telling you different phrases that I extract from the interviews, driver interviews from Perez, that explains a lot of things about all the problems he had with the car in Red Bull Racing in 2024. It's super interesting, guys, really interesting. Obviously, Liam Lawson and Franco Colapinto are in this edit, and I explain the background and the story behind this edit. Super interesting. And obviously, in the last episode, you have the developer diary number 10. Here I've not posted yet the transcription in the blog, but we can watch the video on YouTube, where basically here I explained the last edit I was making for the Docuedit. That obviously was an edit I made about Max Verstappen to pay tribute to Max as a 4 times Formula 1 World Champion. And we have not the transcription in the blog, but obviously we can watch the video, that is this one. Wait, sorry. This is the developer diary episode 10, where I explain a lot of things. No, sorry, this is the story. This one is the video. In this video I explain a lot of things. For example, let's watch just a little bit. Here, for example. Won it the first 5 races. Max Verstappen had not contest at all. The second part goes from round 6 in Miami, the Miami Grand Prix, where Lando Norris wins, until round 18, that is the Singapore Grand Prix, where also Lando Norris ended winning that race. From Miami, when Lando Norris win the Miami Grand Prix, things start to change, and the Red Bull car now is not the fastest. McLaren is stepping up in performance, even Ferrari, Mercedes at some point of the season, and from round 6 in Miami, we start to see a complete different picture to what we saw in 23. Verstappen suffered, he started to don't win races. In Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, that is the here I explaining the background of the edit and how I was building the story of the edit, but also I explain different things about different parts of the edit, like this one. Sorry. Face on my music group, very polemic, but here I explain the music I use for the edit. We have a new song, the third song that defines the third section of the edit, and this song is really known. It's about one of the most popular music groups in the history, that is named Linkin Park, and the name of the song is really important for this edit. The name is Heavy is the Crown. I select this song because for me that phrase Heavy is the Crown represents exactly to try to face on Max Verstappen for a Formula 1 World Championship, you know? Nice visual effects as this one. This is, as you can see, I explaining the music I use for the Max Verstappen edit. I show you different montage, like here with the lion and the Max Verstappen face. All these details, all these stories behind the edits, as I said, you can find it in the Developer Diary series available in my blog and also in my YouTube channel, the channel where I'm making the live right now, Dani Lozano Vlogs. Here through the different videos, I was explaining during these 10 months all the work I was making at the same time I was making it. So it's really interesting, guys. Really interesting, and really inspirational as well for all these people who really like to see how I was working on, how I was building the edits. You know, I think it's really interesting, guys, to see all the hard work behind through the edits. Tomorrow, let's get in deep about the driver story. That also I made a section with the driver story of the edits. Extremely interesting, but in this section we are focusing the developer diary. Now, guys, as you know, in the developer diary series, I explained the story of the 10 of the edits I was making for the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. But these edits are not the only ones I was creating for this project. There are more edits that anyone knows except my community on patreon.com/vlogs. Let me show you a bit. Look, this is really interesting. As I said before yesterday in the live, this is my Patreon page. Patreon is a platform where people can support their favorite creators. In my case, I have my own Patreon page, and people support me through the Vlogs Premium membership. With this membership, you are supporting my work as a content creator, and if you do it, you receive different rewards. One of the rewards is to get access to the official collection of the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season, okay? The collection is here, basically. Let me find it here, in collection. This is the collection, guys. Basically, This is the collection where I'm posting more videos with more content about this project. For example, the Developer Diary series is also available in the collection of the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season on Patreon. And maybe you are asking yourself right now, but Dani, are you duplicating the content? I mean, you are making the same videos, the Developer Diary series, in 2 different platforms. It has no sense at all. Why to re-upload the same video you made for YouTube and now to re-upload to Patreon? No, it's not like that. The episodes that I'm uploading to my Patreon page of the Developer Diary series, this is the number 1. There are also 10 episodes as in YouTube, but these episodes have an extra. The first part is the same that in YouTube. I explaining the same things about the same edits I was explaining on YouTube, but in the second part I explain extra details. In every episode I show you something different that I've not shown in the YouTube videos, even special edits or different edits that I've not shown and anyone knows. Actually, obviously, when I will publish the whole video this week, everyone will be able to watch every single edit. But during these months, people who is Floss Premium member on Patreon was able to watch different parts of different edits that I've not shown in every single episode. This is, for example, the episode number 2. The video is blocked because I'm not singing now with my account, but people who is Floss Premium member can get access to this episode and also to the rest of the 10 episodes of the Developer Diary series that I named Developer Diary All Access. The 10 episodes uploaded to Patreon are the All Access version. As I said, in the All Access version, you have a bit more insights, more details, edits that I've not shown, explaining to you these edits and about which driver or which team this edit was dedicated, and this is, you can get access to all these videos, to all these, let's say, playlist of videos if you are part of the Floss membership, the Floss Premium membership, that is this one. And this is not only to get rewards. Obviously, you have more rewards, like more collection, full access collection to the rest of the parts, full access collection to the other collections about previous documentaries I made. Your name will be written at the end of every video, every F1 edit or F1 documentary that will be posted on my YouTube channel, and exclusive to a private chat room access where I explain all updates in real time about my projects. But what I want to explain, guys, is that this is not only to support to get rewards or to get extra content about my projects about Formula 1, this membership was created as a place where people can support what I'm making, in this case, these videos, guys. Because these videos, obviously I'm doing this for passion, just for passion, but this is a way I found to all people who really wanted to support my content, guys, my work, and it's a way to say, Dani, we love your videos, please make more because we really enjoy it. And in that way, thanks to the Floss Premium members, I can dedicate more time to keep creating those videos, For example, the Docuedit, the last 10 months I spent working the Docuedit, thanks to the people who is supporting this project on Patreon through the Floss Premium membership. I can dedicate so much time to do things like that, guys. So that's why it's very important, if you are watching and you really love the videos I'm making during all this year, you really know my work since long time, and you really want or you would like to support this project and me as a content creator, you can do it through the Floss Premium membership. It's what really makes sense to all time spent on it, guys. And also for people who is not interested in the membership itself, or they are not very interested in to support that, but they really want to get access to the collections and everything, Patreon have a system that allows you to let's say, buy the content without being member. That means, for example, you can buy the collection of the Docuedit without being member. In that case, you will get access to every single post uploaded to this collection, to the Docuedit, without being member, forever, lifetime access. Even if I post in the future exclusive content in this collection and you bought at some point the collection, you also get access to the new content I will upload in the future to this collection. You know, once you buy the collection, you have full lifetime access, and not only to the content is now in the collection, also to the future content. If you are a member, for example, if you are Floss Premium member and you are monthly supporting this Patreon page, you have access to all collections. But if you stop being member and you decide to cancel your membership, you will lose access. Okay, that's why if you buy the collection, you will get full access time. The problem of buy the collection it's that you have to buy all collections individually. If you are a member of Floss Premium, you will get access immediately to all content, but you have to keep being Floss Premium member to keep getting access. You know, two different ways to get these rewards on Patreon. You know, and also even if you don't want to buy the collection, you are only interested in one specific post, just in only one specific post of this collection. For example, imagine you are really interested in to watch the all-access version of the developer diary of the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. No, for example, this is not a good example. Let's see, you are really interested in to watch the episode 8, for example, you can buy the post individually. In that way, you will get access forever, lifetime access to this post, forever, only to this post. You know, not the rest of the collection, but imagine that you are only interested in to watch this all-access version of the episode 8 of the developer diary, Docuedit, the all-access version. But you can, you just buy the post individually and you will get access to this post, not to the rest of the videos, but it's another way if you are really interested in to know something very specific, you know, about this project. Also, there are videos that are free to watch. For example, in this video I explain how I create a very cool visual effect in the Lando Norris edit once he wins the Miami Grand Prix. For example, let's take a look here. Let's see if, okay.
It's cool, now it fits much better. The next step was to include the McLaren logotype in the background, adjusting the position and the size of the logotype to the size of the screen, of the radio screen, making it a bit smaller. And now I have to change the color to white. And finally, this is Bruce McLaren, the founder of this team of McLaren, and I decided to create a very cool effect, trying to place Bruce McLaren at the sky. Bruce McLaren that actually is not with us, he passed away years ago, but it's a way to associate the first victory of Lando Norris with Bruce McLaren, that was the founder of the team.
As you can see, this video, for example, is free to watch. You go to the collection on my Patreon page, you can watch this full video free. So that means I have free content in this collection and also private content that you can unlock. Sorry, this is not, or yes, this is unlock being, as I said before, Floss Premium member, or buying the collection, or buying individually the post, you know, guys. So I really wanted to explain that. Now, guys, as I said, this is the live showroom number 2, and this is what I wanted to show you today. But tomorrow is a new day, and tomorrow there is a new live here with me about the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. Tomorrow, I will explain a very interesting part of this project, that is this one. Every edit have a very interesting story behind. And as I did the 10 episodes of the Developer Diary, where I was showing you a lot of interesting things about the project from the inside, showing you the visual effects, all what I was showing you in this live, the story of the edits are really interesting. Behind these stories explain the reasons why I decided to make every single edit and how I perceive the drivers involved in every single edit. That means that I will reveal my thoughts about these drivers, about Lewis Hamilton, about Oscar Piastri, about Lando Norris, about Charles Leclerc, my thoughts and my vision about these drivers as a Formula 1 content creator, as a Formula 1 video editor, and as a Formula 1 fan, same as you. I will try to make you understand why I made these edits, the reason why, and how I see the protagonist of every single edit from my vision, as I said, as a creator, as a Formula 1 fan. So that means tomorrow in the third live, don't miss it, guys. Don't miss it because it will be really, really special. I will reveal a lot of, let's say, insights or thoughts I have about these drivers that I was representing in these edits for the Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. So before to say goodbye today, I hope you enjoyed, guys. If you are watching this on live, thank you so much. Thank you so much. By the way, yesterday I received some messages in the chat that I was not able to read. I really feel really disappointed because of that, because I know some of you grow in the chat about me, very good words. So you know who you are. Thank you so much for your words in the chat yesterday. But unfortunately, my setup was not ideally placed in my monitor, and I was not able to watch the message. But thank you so much. And as I said, tomorrow, super interesting live Docuedit Formula 1 2024 live showroom day number 3. Here will be available the day 3 of the live showroom Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. And here I will place the official playlist of the Docuedit where you can watch all these developer diary episodes, the story behind the edits, everything you need about this project. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.